And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket.
What's up, everybody? What's up? Welcome to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he. I am indeed. And we are back for another week of some talking. Look, y'all, if you're joining us, thank you for tuning in. We are streaming live on LinkedIn, YouTube, as well as Facebook. Always like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Empower TV, or on Facebook under Parker Media Group Empower TV Network. Thanks for joining us. We are also airing all of our content as well on our Roku channel on Empower TV. You got a Roku device and you don't have Empower, I don't know what the hell is wrong with you, but you need to add us right now, because we're also now streaming on Amazon Fire TV. So we've upped our subscriber base. So we're getting subscribers from all over the country. I think I saw some Brazil and Germany's today. So thanks everybody for doing that. We've got a great show lined up. We're going to talk about everything from the Ahmaud Arbery verdict and the difference between that and the Kim Potter verdict. But before we get into the more serious things, we got some folks that are going to be joining us from a brand new web series that is going to premiere tonight. Very excited about that. So what we're going to do is we're going to say hello to our panel. Looks like we have Miss Lori Parker and the franchise. Jermaine, you made it.
I'm here, baby. I'm here.
Yeah, baby. All right. How you doing, Lori?
Doing good.
If I hadn't seen you in a few minutes. And Mr. Jermaine Parker, how you doing, sir?
Brother, I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
Man, well, good to have y'all. So look, this is what we're going to do, because we got some folks in the green room waiting to let us know about this web series. So we're going to take a quick look at the trailer, and then we're going to come back on the other side and have some of the cast and crew from Hopeless Romantic right after this.
Awesome.
Don't got no heart, I got an icebox. Brand new rolling, swipe out the G-Shock. Moving slowly, I know the street hype.
Well, what about you? Are you bringing anyone?
No, girl, please.
Why not, Chloe? It's been a minute since.
Listen, I'm just trying to live. I'm not looking for love like my friends, and because of that, they won't let me be great.
Perhaps you'd like to go out to dinner sometime.
Love is a waste of time if you ask me.
Don't worry about where I'm about to go. Let me tell you where you're about to go. Get your ass out my car. And go get your shit out of my apartment by the time I get off work.
One minute you're happy, the next minute you're looking for a whole nother prospect. Like, you won't catch me being a hopeless romantic in these streets.
I've been meaning to tell y'all about my newbie, and we've already been on a couple dates, and he hasn't even tried to get physical with me yet.
Okay, girl.
Like, you know how a guy takes you on like 1 or 2 days, then he starts thinking that you owe him some booty.
Getting all that tonight. All of it.
Yeah, but he's just been making some really out-of-pocket comments lately.
Hey, Amir.
I was looking online and saw an event I want to take you to. It's called a Trap and Paint Party.
Trap and paint?
I typed in what black people like to do, and it popped up. What?
Can we get up? Should we just keep this up? Can we get up?
And just like that, there we go. Look at all these beautiful people. Hey, y'all. Y'all want mute? Take yourselves off mute. We're going to talk to you. So we we've got Clover Ford with us. We got Tish Dorsey with us. We got Haley Rashad with us. I'm making sure I didn't have somebody else hanging in the green room that I didn't see, but it doesn't look like it. So, how y'all doing?
Good.
Excited.
Welcome to the show. How about that?
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, congratulations on the premiere. I know this has been, a big project. You guys have been working on it for quite some time. Thank you for even allowing me to be in it a little bit. So I appreciate that. But even without me being in it, I think it's going to be a great show. I mean, I don't think I have anything that can even stand near trap and paint or anything like that. So. That's just hilarious. So you really got to see it. It's going to premiere tonight at 9:00. I think you're doing something at 8:30. Is that right?
Yes, we're going live on our channel at 8:30 as well.
Okay. Now your channel, it's under Hopeless Romantic, right?
Hopeless Romantic web series.
Web series, right? So if you're watching and you want to see know how you can watch this great web series, it's going to air tonight, YouTube at 9:00, but they're going to do something at 8:30, kind of more, I guess, a little behind the scenes with some of the cast and the crew. They're not going to tell you what's going to happen in episode 9. You're going to have to watch every week and find out.
There you go.
They got more classified documents than the CIA, so you don't get anything out of them like that. And even when we had our premiere a couple of weeks ago in Airsley, they were like, "No, don't tell nothing. Don't
right?
You know,
Right.
So they look at them like, can I tell this and can I tell that? No, you can't tell it. You know, what's the point?" So it was all good and everything. But Clover, introduce yourself, and then we'll go around the room.
Hey, everybody. I am Clover Ford. I am the creator of Hopeless Romantic, writer, executive producer. Kind of got these ladies on board with me to create and write Hopeless Romantic. So that's a little bit about me.
Okay. And I understand you guys have known each other for quite some time anyway, right?
Tish and I have known each other since 6th grade.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
years. Haley and I have known each other, I want to say going on 10 years, maybe longer than that, almost 10 years.
It's a little under 10.
Okay, so a little
but not
under 10
much.
years.
Probably like 8 or 9 for sure.
Yeah. So for a very long time.
Yes.
Okay.
Not quite
okay.
6th
So
grade. Not quite 6th grade. You got a couple of years in there.
Definitely not. That's a long time, and so you gotten to know each other. And I know they asked you in the premiere, but what inspired you to go with this web series, or what inspired you to do a web series at all?
So I first wrote a short film. So the short film was supposed to be a web series, but I ran out of time, couldn't do a web series. So we went with the short film. I submitted that to a film festival here in Charlotte, and they picked it up. They accepted my film into the film festival. So being a part of that film festival was very impactful for me. And being amongst so many other creators, it just compelled me to continue writing. So I knew I wanted to do a web series, but I didn't want to just throw any content out there, right? So I sat on it for maybe a year and some change. And as I was going through social media, I'm like, you know what? Everybody's talking about love. Everybody's talking about this and that. And when they go on vacation and all this stuff or whatever, I'm like, listen, we got a whole bunch of hopeless romantics in this world. And it came to me. I was like, Hopeless Romantic. That's it. It's going to be Hopeless Romantic. So I reached out to Haley. I was like, I got the name of the web series. It's Hopeless Romantic. And she was like, what is it going to be about? I was like, I don't know. I'll get back to you. So,
Wow.
So maybe like a week later, came up with the content behind it. And the rest is history.
So who's the funny person out of the group? Because, looking at this web series, there you touch on some serious topics, but it's very light at the same time. So you draw a really good mix in mixing the two together. So who's the funny bone that kind of keeps the levity in the whole script?
Tish, Haley, y'all want to answer that?
Honestly, I think it was a joint effort, to be honest. Like we all contributed to the seriousness and the light. I'm so happy that you said that, actually, because that was one of our main goals. It was to kind of bring awareness to some of the serious issues that we face in the Black and Black community, but we also wanted it to be entertaining and funny as well. So I'm so happy that you picked up on that, because that was one of our goals. So mission accomplished, it sounds like.
Yeah, even when we did table reads and stuff like that, you could tell the funny spots and everything like that, but the actors really have to kind of pull it off that page when they're actually doing it. And a lot of the things that I even saw in the premiere, I was like, oh, wow, they got that one good. And then, of course, when Shad came in and did his thing, and he just took what was on the paper and just ran with it. Yeah. Everybody, if you don't know, there's going to be a favorite in the show, and you'll know very, very soon who Trevor is.
And that's something that you say that because when we were writing the script, we knew as we were writing, as it was unfolding, we knew that there was going to be a favorite, and we knew we had to cast specifically, like it had to be specific to this person. So that's something that you actually got it. So that's a good thing.
So listen, if you don't watch the show for any other reason, you're gonna watch it because you're gonna want to see what this dude does every single week. I guarantee it. You will watch it just for that reason, if no other reason. There's gonna be a lot of reasons to watch it, but you're gonna want to see what this dude is gonna do this time.
That's crazy. We knew that was an important role when he was just on paper before we even met the actor. On paper, he was important. So we took major care in casting that role.
And he executed it.
You did. And well, he did, but it was the direction, and Tish, that was all you on that.
Yeah.
But sometimes, as long as I've been acting, I've realized sometimes the biggest thing is casting.
Right.
People don't really understand that a lot of times, or people don't understand about filming and casting and table reads and all these things that go into the finished product. And you go, man, we did all of that, and it was only an hour. It was only this. It was only that. And you put in 20-hour days.
Right now.
Right? People see you on the screen and everything, and they think, "Oh, y'all just got together on a Saturday afternoon and did this, huh?" Like, no.
There were many nights that my mom tried to call me. I was unavailable all day, and maybe a couple of days. My cousins tried to text me. I wasn't able to respond. Like, we filmed, I think our longest filming day was 21 or 23 hours. Like, it was a lot put into this project. A lot put into this project. So we're excited for it to premiere tonight.
So I'm gonna just tell y'all flat out, the thing that amazed me the most at the premiere, because now when I watch stuff as an actor, I look at it differently. I look at the directing. I look at the cinematography. I look at all of what the director of photography was doing. So the aerial shots, dope. Just the color, dope. The sound was good. I'm just like, wow, all of that came together. So that's the other part that a lot of folks don't understand is okay, you do all your thing, but then when you go to post-production, that's when you got to start pulling the right clips, the right angles, meshing it together. You got to do color, you got to do your sound, you got to do all of these things before you put that product out there. And I know once you put it out there, you want it to be something that you can be proud of. I certainly think you guys have done that. So when you do this tonight, this is going to air every single week for the next 9 weeks. Is that how we're going to do it?
Correct. At 9 p.m. on Thursdays on YouTube. Yes.
So what y'all need to do when you sit there and you subscribe on YouTube, there's a little bell that you can click. And what that will do is that anytime that they do any updates on their channel, you'll get one of those notifications on your phone to let you know that either a new clip dropped, they're announcing the next premiere date or anything like that. That way you can stay in the know. So please definitely do that. I'm going to go around real quick. Tish, what was your favorite thing about this whole project?
I have to say the connection with the cast and the team. It was a family. We came in not knowing each other, not knowing too much about each other, but we grew as a family. And that's how you get the talent out. if you connect as a family. And we said from the beginning, we want this to be a hopeless romantic family, because if we're not a family, if we do not connect, that's going to show up on your screen that, okay, something is off. They're not together. Something is up. So we needed to come in as a family. And I think that was my favorite part, because we all just clicked. We all just clicked.
Absolutely. Haley, same question.
So for me, I'm mostly right. So this was my first time kind of filming. I usually write and then there's like a book or some kind of paperwork afterwards. But the filming definitely was the most fun for me, especially like Tish said, with us bonding. It was like a family atmosphere. It's not like everybody, okay, I'm just coming to work, read my lines and I'm leaving. Like we really all connected. I feel like I left with like 12 new friends, 12 new family members. But like Clover said earlier, we had some 15, 16, 20-hour days, and you don't want to be standing there for 15, 16 hours and not, having a good time. It's like when we left, it's kind of like you don't even realize that you were there for that long. It's like you look at the watch and you're like, oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock, because you having so much fun.
Other than your back hurting and your feet hurting, you're absolutely right.
That's right. That's right. So sore the next day after filming. My entire body was like in so.
You feel like you've been in a car wreck. That's
right.
Right.
What is going on? But yeah, it was.
But the wonderful thing is that you're ready. You're ready to go right back out the next day and do it all over again.
Right. The next morning. Let's say
the next morning.
3 hours of sleep, okay?
Early, bright and early.
Absolutely.
But yes, filming was definitely my favorite part.
Hey, Lori, Jermaine, do you guys have any questions for Clover, Tish, or Haley?
I actually do, because I'm a product of the Mecklenburg school system. And so I'm not doing the math and stuff, because I'm looking at y'all and y'all look like you're older than 20, but you say that you've known each other like 10 years and stuff. I'm trying to figure out how this math works out and stuff. I said, y'all don't look old enough to. But besides that, you ladies local too, or you grew up in the area? Is that why the web series set here?
Yes. So Tish and I are from a small town called Monroe, which is right outside of Charlotte. But I consider myself from Charlotte, a Charlotte native. I remember at one time, like back in the day, they were saying Monroe and Charlotte was going to like combine.
Yes.
But that never happened. But who's to say it might not happen in the future? But yeah, we're from here.
Okay.
I am actually from Columbia, South Carolina, and I relocated here about 8 years ago. So that just kind of rung the bell. So me and Clover have known each other for 8 years because we met when I moved here.
Go Cox.
But I gotta give a
that's my team too. Don't start it.
But Haley, I want you to understand something, Haley. There's only one real Carolina.
So
I'm gonna let you have that because this is your show. But I'm gonna go ahead.
That's right.
But catch me at 8:30 on my show, and we gonna have a problem.
Okay.
So I just subscribed and I hit the bell because I definitely I'm tuning in tonight. I want to see the series. I'm very excited to watch what you guys have put out, the kind of content you put out. Are you already writing for next season?
That's a good question. So we are not writing for the next season, but we are we have ideas for the next season, but we are not writing for the next season. And reason being, for me, I lost two family members during filming, and I believe our first day of casting, I lost my uncle, and then I lost someone else during filming. And then I recently lost someone last week. So I don't know. It's just been a lot for me. But I want to do a season 2, but I kind of want to see what the response is going to be. But we have ideas. Definitely
have already.
Well, listen, I'm gonna flat out tell y'all, you ain't got no choice. You might have thought that it was your call.
Okay.
But it probably isn't, Clover, because this is a really good series. So when people see that, you're going to do the same thing that people did when Watchmen came out with Regina King. Everybody got mad when they said it got canceled. And they were like, Oh hell no! They're gonna do the same thing to you. You're gonna get towed up on Instagram and Twitter. They coming for you. You gonna come out with a seat. And you know what? I ain't gonna lie. I might have a little bit to do with some of that coming your way. I can't say for sure, but I might have been a little instigator when you start catching them blows. But you ain't got no choice. It's gonna be a season 2. I'm gonna go ahead and announce the premiere. Season 2 will premiere in March of next year, y'all. Watch it.
Okay.
He already gave us
Go ahead and put it out there.
Going back to that, we do want this to get picked up by network. So that is the ultimate goal.
Yes.
Picked up by network.
Right.
So we don't have to. I mean, we do want to do a season 2, but before that happens, we want it picked up by network.
Yeah, you know, I work with some series that they were trying to do that, and as far as people don't know, what happens a lot of times is that when you fund this yourself and you film it yourself, a lot of times the goal is to be able to let other networks see it, pick it up, and a lot of times what they may even do is say, okay, you got to pull it down off of all your social media because we're going to totally recast it, we're going to totally reshoot it all over again, and the biggest part is, and we're going to totally pay for it, and that's going to be the biggest thing. So you have a bigger budget and everything else like that, so that they can work with distribution and get it out. People can get royalty checks and stuff like that. So that's how it happens. So that's probably why she's a little bit hesitant on it. But I think that either way, it's going to be really, really good. While you're waiting for exposure, anytime you want to put any of it on Empower or on our Amazon, that's absolutely fine with me. Ain't no charge. I don't care. But you know, everything we know doesn't always make it to, you know, certain levels. Are you going to even put it in film festivals or anything?
Yes. We actually are submitting tomorrow to a few film festivals this week. Okay. So yeah, this week we start with that.
Well,
so
there's
been a lot behind the scenes going on.
Just as a quick plug, I had some folks that I partner with some of the content on Empower that approached me from India and England and wanted to come together and start a new platform through Roku for film festival. So I'm getting the subscription part worked out, but as soon as that finishes, I think around March the 11th, we're gonna have like film festivals, and it's gonna be pulled through Film Freeway and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So we'll have all our different categories and things like that we'll be running. It's going to be a worldwide film festival that is called Creative Entertainment Network. I'll start posting some of that as we get a little bit closer, but I'm thankful they just wanted me to join because they saw that I've been doing Empower for about 1.5 years now. And this show we've done, 70 episodes probably. So,
oh, wow.
Awesome.
We've been doing it.
You guys are in it.
We've been in it. We've been in it. Started in Brooklyn, now we in Concord. So yeah, we've been doing it, and so we're looking to grow it and go in different directions. So appreciate that. Appreciate you guys for coming by and giving us a little bit of your time. I know it's a big night, and I'm honored and extremely blessed that y'all gave us some of your valuable time to be able to come in and let everybody know about the show. So.
Yeah, thank you.
Break a leg. I can't wait to watch this again and again and again. And we will keep putting that out. We're going to keep playing your trailer, at least for the next couple of shows, just so people can see it and go, hey, what's that?
Thank you. Thank you so much. We are honored to be here. Thank you so much for having us.
Anytime y'all want to come back and give us an update on season 2 or distribution.
You said
Let me know. We got March 2023. Look out for it.
Let me put that down. Let me write that down now.
Right there. Officer Brian comes back. He's gonna be somebody's love interest. I got that feeling. He gonna quit the police force, and then he runs.
Oh no, you can't quit your job now.
He's coming out the
cold. We need you on the force.
Now you can get promoted. Don't quit though, but get promoted.
Oh, okay, yeah.
There you go.
No. I think he needs a sergeant in charge of him.
Absolutely.
Big chocolate brother. I can't think of who that could be, Jermaine. If y'all ain't picked up by now, even though he's taller, this is my little brother.
Okay, nice. Hey, little brother.
Hello, little brother.
Hey,
I'm 6'4", 220. So
wow.
I'm that
Not
little.
so little brother.
Yeah.
he's solid.
He's a little bit.
All right, Jermaine, we know you're cute, but we're gonna let the ladies go. Oh.
You got to.
Ladies, anybody else coming through that you know of?
I thought James was joining us and Riri, but maybe not.
Okay. Well, I'll look out for them in the green room. If they pop up, we'll certainly bring them in for a few and chat it up with them as well.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Bye.
See y'all in 2 hours.
Bye.
Thank you.
All right, y'all. Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Let's see. There's Clover. There's all right, y'all. So, y'all tuning in for this web series?
Absolutely.
Man, hey, it's gonna be fire. Trust me. I ain't wanna pull my own chain, but man, I'm the main character in this whole thing.
Okay.
I'm the star of the whole thing. I shut it down.
Yeah. Yeah.
They took one look at me and they said, "We just gonna name it Brian Web Series."
Yeah. Yeah.
I said, "No, this is your dream. You keep it hopeless romantic. I'll just fit in where I need to fit in." So, but they's like, "Nah, B, we need you like that. We want to call it the Brian Parker Show." I'm like, no.
No, they do not. No, they
said,
will not.
maybe season 2. You know, kind of like how they broke off Power and they got Ghost and all that. They're gonna have Hopeless Romantic B Park.
No,
it's coming soon.
Absolutely not.
I'm the executive producer and the writer for it. Haley and me are gonna work side by side with that, and we gonna get it right. She is so funny, so she can tie my comedy with her comedy. It's gonna be off the chain. I'm gonna be doing a lot of things. What's gonna happen is I'm gonna quit the police force and become more like a relationship kind of sex therapist and start talking about how to keep your man and tell the dudes how to keep their woman and all that kind of stuff, and making sure that when you leave home smelling like zest, you don't come back smelling like Irish Spring. You know, just them little telltale signs that your man might be out there dipping, doing little stuff like that. So
can I just say that would not be the best thing, and I think you should just
no, you cannot say
balance.
No, you cannot say, because I still got the helm and I can just pull you off. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'll put you back in. No, you can't say that. You can't say that at all. We got Mr. CJ coming in. How you doing, Mr. CJ?
I'm doing well, sir. Thank you for having me.
Oh, wow. And it looks like as soon as you popped up, Jermaine left. So you must have ran him off.
I didn't know I was that powerful.
I didn't either. I'm impressed. you won them big guns, CJ. You done ran off.
He's back.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say I ain't know how to run Jermaine off like that.
I think you ran Jermaine off with that crazy talking about the advice that you was gonna give. That didn't run anybody off.
Oh no, Jermaine the one that gave me that advice. Jermaine gave that advice to me.
Jermaine, you said something was wrong with the Wi-Fi, bro?
Yeah, no, I froze up for a second, had to back out and come back in.
Yeah, hey CJ, thanks for coming in. We had just got through with the ladies from the Hopeless Romantic web series again. They're going to premiere episode 1 tonight on YouTube. So go to YouTube, just search for Hopeless Romantic web series. Like, share, and subscribe, but most importantly, click on that bell so every time that they do anything, you'll receive a notification. But yeah, it's going to be really good, and not just because I have a small part to play in it, but they were really, really good to work with, and it's really good when we get good representation from our community and be able to look at a product on screen that you can be proud of. We did a premiere at the Airsley Grand Cinema. And watched it on the big screen, and that's always good when you look on a big old screen and kind of see your blood, sweat,
Did you watch all the episodes?
See your work.
We watched 2.
And so it's 9 episodes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm watching all 9. Hey, I'm gonna need you next time we have guests on. You tell me they're gonna be fine, so I can shave my head and tidy up a little bit.
Hey, you actually missed one. There was one more. One of the writers, Lisa Wiggins, that wasn't able to join. So you probably would have still felt that way even after that. So yeah, man. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with having being talent and working around some talent.
Yeah, I'm gonna change my whole grooming schedule now for Thursday night.
You gotta come on the show. You gotta come on the show like you about to go out.
Yeah, ladies, I look better than this. I can do better. I can do better.
You can do better.
I do better. I promise you, I do better.
Hey, as long as you can self-reflect and improve, that's what head to head is all about.
That's right. Right. Get better each week. Get better each week.
Oh my gosh, y'all are too much. So how's everybody doing?
I am doing wonderful. Hey guys, just to I thought I had inboxed everybody individually, but if I didn't, I started to put my shows on YouTube now. So if you're not even on Facebook, Elephant Exposed is now being shown on YouTube now. So
you have an actual YouTube channel?
Yeah, well, yeah, just look CJ Jones up and then check out my videos and like we always say, like, hit subscribe, and you'll see all of my shows that I've done this year so far. I think I'm up to 9 whopping shows, but I'm gonna go back and get the shows that I did last year and put those on there as well.
No doubt, so, no doubt.
I appreciate you guys supporting the brother. I really do.
Oh, absolutely. I saw some of the show yesterday about sagging.
Oh yeah. Boy, that was educational for me. Like some things I knew, but the goal behind yesterday's show was to separate the myth from the fiction. From fact, So I myself and some people had inboxed me about some more factual things, so it might be a part 2 to that.
Okay. Well, and and as we go through even subjects that we go through, there's always part 2s and add-ons and things like that, because the world is always giving us another example of something that we covered. Speaking of which, so over the last couple of weeks, we've seen some really interesting things going on in our justice system involving cases that have been around for quite some time now. This past week was 2-year anniversary of the murder of Ahmaud Arbery. So the 3 men that murdered him, that were convicted of murdering him, actually were standing trial for federal hate crimes. And on the last show, I mentioned that, hey, I ain't going to even go into the actual content of the text messages. And I still probably won't, because it was kind of crazy. But let's just say that the prosecution in their criminal case did not bring up their racist text messages.
Right. And that was purposeful.
And it was purposeful. And I understand that they didn't do that really because they wanted to center on the actual fact that he was murdered and he was cornered and everything like that. Because trying to prove racial bias in and of itself is a very high bar sometimes in a criminal case. So they separated that criminal case from the federal case, also because they knew there would be a federal case.
Oh yeah.
Once they actually made a criminal case that was trying to be covered up from the beginning. So they actually did go to the federal hate crime, and that actually was about to be pled out by the Department of Justice, basically offering them a plea deal, and the family of Ahmaud Arbery saying, no. We don't agree with it.
Run that.
Run it.
That's right.
Run
That's
it.
Right.
You bet. Go through with it.
Yes, sir.
Yes. This has been brought to you by the official office of B. Parker Esquire. Anyway, so they actually said, no, we want to go through with it. There will be no plea deal because we need justice for our son. Some people would be like, well, what's the difference? They got life sentences anyway. What's piling on more life sentences going to do? It's going to do a lot in that it does send a message to people that You just cannot keep going around killing black folks. That's the message we wanted to send. Unfortunately, we'll get back to the McMichaels in Roddy Bryant in a minute. There's a conversion of a judge sitting on a damn stand crying over Kim Potter and how she made a mistake in killing Dante Wright and going and falling well below the 7-year recommended sentencing guidelines and sentencing her to 2 years, 16 of which are behind bars. The remainder of the sentence is 4 months supervised probation.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, for 4 months, she got to be in the house by 6, 7 o'clock. She got to go see her probation officer every week and pee in a cup. Oh, wow. Woe is me.
Right.
And she done already served 58 days in jail. So she got 2 months of jail credit coming. So she going to see just a little bit over a year in prison for taking the life of Dante Wright. Because after serving over 25 years as a police officer, she couldn't tell the difference between her taser and her service weapon.
It'll never happen again. She'll never own a weapon. She will never wear a uniform. Man, I watched that whole.
And you know what? And you know what the other never is? And Dante Wright will never get to see his parents
be home.
Again.
Exactly.
Ever.
Bruh, listen. It's as soon as. Actually, I think watching it, I think they should have started out with the family, the friends of the family, working their way all the way up to the mother, because I thought, in my opinion, that her letter was a lot more hard hitting. So I'm thinking that whenever I look at it, that should have been the crescendo to end it for everybody that was in the family. That mother's letters said it all. I mean, she addressed everything, and and she did it so beautifully. And yes, it was emotional, but she kept her emotions checked enough to where she was able to get it all out. The other part is whenever the judge began to do her closing statement herself. I kind of saw that coming simply because of the way that the way she handled this case was like the kid gloves. She was wanting to be so careful, not to, hurt anybody's feelings and so forth. So the whole pacifier that worked for Kyle Rittenhouse in the criminal case, it worked in the sentencing for Kim Potter.
Well, CJ, you're right, but see, here's the problem with that. If you pacify one, you are offending the other, because what you're basically saying is, if I have to empathize so much with Kim Potter, excuse my French, I'm shitting on Dante Wright's family.
Exactly. And yes, she said, because you said it, it doesn't make it right.
Yeah, because you're basically saying, me looking at her situation is me minimizing the fact that Dante Wright is no longer there.
Exactly.
Me trying to understand how this was a mistake. Here's the thing: there are mistakes in life, but the question is this: was that mistake avoidable?
It was very avoidable.
Did it have to happen? My problem with the whole thing from the Kim Potter trial was the fact that even if I want to believe you had every intention to tase him, you were tasing somebody in the driver's seat of a car. They had it in drive. What were you trying to do by tasing him? Because the worst case scenario would have been you would have sent him in the shop. He would have mashed his foot on the gas, ran into a tree, ran into a ditch, or even worse, ran into somebody else.
And now you have collateral damage.
To me, that is still reckless that you were going to fire a taser into a moving vehicle or vehicle that was already ready to be moved. He'd already put it in gear.
And this is where law begins to go into all that gray area when They talk. Well, let's talk about the circumstances surrounding the situation.
He
The other officer
had an air
was in the
freshener and a bad
vehicle
tag.
and all this
He
other
had,
stuff.
he had an air freshener and a bad tag. That was the scenario.
Right. And all of that. Okay, they were saying that they had reasonable cause to go ahead and effect an arrest. Okay, I'm not arguing that. The thing that I'm arguing is literally the other side of what you just brought in. They said that she was justified in using a firearm, not necessarily the taser, just for the reasons that you just said, but for the safety of the officer that was already trying to reach in and take the car or put it in gear. He was already there, but it was only until she said taser that he ejected himself out just in time enough for her to actually shoot Dante. So again, was that even necessary? Because guess what, guys? You already have the tags.
And see, CJ, it reminds me of getting your head beat in by an officer, and they say, "Stop resisting."
Yeah,
and
stop
they're
resisting,
saying
bro.
that
You keep moving every time I hit you. Why you keep doing
now
that?
they're saying that not because they truly believe you're resisting. It's because they believe by saying stop resisting, I have cover to now justify why I was beating the hell out of you.
Right. But see,
so
here's the thing.
So when she yells
that's the way that we would
taser, that covers herself to say, okay, now I can accidentally shoot your ass.
Okay, so so let me do this part here, because this is where the judge kind of like ticked me off when she was saying that the prosecution side did not or failed to prove that it was like no genuine remorse or whatever, because it was remorse. Yes, it was remorse, but let's put it in context. She felt remorse because she saw her career go bye-bye. That was the remorse. Let's be real.
Thank you for exposing that elephant. I mean, it's easy to say that I feel sorry about something, but is it sorry that you got caught? Sorry that you got to suffer the consequences that you maybe didn't think you'd have to suffer? Or are you truly... Now, I can't... You know how people say, I can't really get in your heart and tell whether you're really sorry.
Oh,
which is
yeah,
why,
they did
which
play
is
that.
why that really shouldn't matter when I'm sentencing you.
Exactly.
Because
that's
too subjective.
Exactly. So you sitting up here crying and holding back tears because you have to do your job and everything. And that in itself was completely unprofessional as a judge. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, in the military, as a police officer, we come across situations to where you got to have a stone face or a poker face, or however they want to call it. In other words, you got to check your emotions, because as much as you would want to side with someone because you obviously see what is wrong, our officers would actually end up going to captain's mast. Now, Jermaine, I don't know what y'all call it in the Air Force, but basically, you can actually go up to what we call go see the man behind that, and you are risking your pay, your rank, and everything, because you became emotionally compromised to where you can no longer do your job professionally, and to the point to where they will actually find another job for you because you lost all profession. So should this not apply in civilian world as well? Because if every person that comes into your courtroom, judge, knows how to manipulate their words to where they can pull that emotion from you, well, we already know where it's going, and she has full discretion. At minimum, she could have gave 7 years. At minimum. At the maximum, she was going to give, I think it was 12 to 15. You couldn't do 7? Really?
So, but you know what? A woman can sit there and fire a warning shot in the air and get 10 years. A woman can sit there and register to vote after being told by the Department of Corrections that she had the right to register to vote and get sentenced for 6 years. I could sit there and take a 18-wheeler of cocaine and go to Virginia with it and probably end up with 15 years. Not that I don't have the 18-wheeler. I really don't have an 18-wheeler of cocaine. I know. It's Lori's. It's Lori's.
So, man, you guys covered a lot. So let me first off by saying to the ladies of Hopeless Romantic, I'm still available. But for my second point, and so one thing, so CJ, I think that it's okay to have compassion in the courtroom. I really do. What the problem is that the compassion is not equal. That's the problem. Because so let me give you my example. My example is Muhammad Noor.
Okay.
That was a Somali police officer in Minneapolis who was sentenced to 12 and a half years for killing that white lady. It's not that police can't go to jail, right? And it's not that we don't, when we talk about circumstances and stuff like that, he had a lot of the same circumstances. He made a mistake. He was remorseful and stuff. He still got 12 and a half years. Did it have anything to do with the fact that he wasn't quote unquote American? That he was Somali in a Somali community, right? They have a big Somali community. Mm-hmm. Did that have anything to do with it? Of course it did. That's why I'm on this show, to point this stuff out to you. Exactly. And so, and I'll be honest with you, anytime any officer receives any punishment, I'm shocked. I know that you were talking about the sequence of events and for the letters and testimonies, and ended up with the mothers because it was hard hitting and stuff. They don't care. They don't care about black mothers. They don't care about black children. They don't care about black lives. That's why we had the whole Black Lives Matter, because of instances like this, where we can see, and like I say, there's nothing wrong with compassion if there's compassion for everybody. There was Let's even that out. There was a lawyer who tweeted right after that decision came down. It's like, you know what? That's odd because I had the same judge, and she didn't seem to be so compassionate for my client, who had committed a minor offense, but the judge ruled that she needed to serve some jail time, which led her children to being taken away from her, and ended up of her being deported back to a country that she hadn't been to since she was a small child. It's the same judge. The same one that was crying, he said that's odd because she wouldn't cry for my client, who obviously has some extenuating circumstances and stuff. Compassion is good. When compassion is not weighed equally among people, that's when it's bad. That's what we talk about. A lot of things that we talk about. We talk about the
theatrics, though,
doing things over. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so the thing that got me, because I'm used to looking at like different procedures. I know, man. I love it too.
I love this cup.
The thing that got me was the theatrics of it all, because this was a sentencing trial. I thought I was looking at civil court.
I thought I was watching Judge Judy.
For real. I mean, and I thought they had a smidgen of a chance. I ain't gonna lie, because Mama is white, and it's kind of like what the daughter had said. This was a wake up call for her, because they saw what happened to George. And so they was like, well, maybe we have a fighting chance because our family is mixed. And I was like, ooh, that's a good point. And so I had a smidgen of hope there. And that's why I said
actually honestly, CJ, that makes it, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. That make it worse most of the time. If your family mixed, then you even worse, because a lot of times you viewed as a traitor.
Well, since we were talking about compassion, and what was very telling about the Kim Porter decision and sentencing was when I was
not Kim Porter. That's Puffy's old lady that passed. Potter. Sorry. Yeah. You thinking about your hip hop stuff? But go ahead. I got you.
Thank you. Hip hop is must be intertwined in all of our lives.
It is.
I was thinking,
and I mean, I'm a Barry Manilow person, but go ahead.
No, you're not. Well, you do have your moments. What I was thinking of is the both John trial.
Yep.
When we had the judge who was who hugged and even though she was sentenced for what happened, but she gave that compassion. But then on the flip side, we've had, I think there was a decision that was made with the 3 other officers from the George Floyd, who was actually found guilty, if I'm correct.
Yeah,
they are. They
found
are
guilty of violating civil rights.
Right. As well as federally charged or convicted now for the hate crime. So yeah, they getting it complete.
So my question is, if we're talking about compassion and where it's and where it's been placed, because I agree with Jermaine, because with other people, if it's not you, there's no compassion. You would be put under the river, under the jail. But if you happen to be another person, you will definitely, you may be getting off. So it goes back to the question of the only reason why we are getting these decisions and is because of the availability of the video. If there was no video, there was no video, none of this would be happening. People would still be going on and the same way it is. So it just goes back to, in a round circular way, going back to where you have to talk about these judges are actually in some areas of the country are voted in. So you need to make sure and look at who you're voting for on your local level. Again, your vote matters.
It
And
does.
making sure that you actually see your actual representation, to maybe get that sense of compassion where it is equal for everyone at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you make a great point about that. We talk about this probably every 4th show kind of thing, where we talk about local elections and how a lot of the issues that we're talking about are affected by that. As I leave military service this year, I'm actually thinking of about becoming a candidate myself. So I'll keep you guys on that. But yeah, and so because I do more than talk.
I proudly accept the position of chief of staff.
Oh yeah, evidently nepotism is a thing, and I was actually.
God, yes.
Yeah, I was thinking about my.
Okay, but are you going to put him as security? Because I know that's what Eric Adams did in New York. But he will not get a salary of $1, and that's not happening, or cryptocurrency.
I don't do security, baby. This face ain't meant to be hit.
I got it. You look like an attorney general, but
in general, an attorney in general.
In general. But but that's the thing. Like really, I mean, so this country, and I just can't emphasize enough, is dirty and shady, and I have no idea how America ever stands in front of the world stage and tries to take the moral high ground.
Oh my God! Thank you.
Thank
you.
That's a beautiful point, Jeff.
They should almost choke. They should almost choke when they say half of that stuff.
Well, they talk about dictators, like the dictator we have in North Korea and stuff, and he uses firing squads. I'm thinking, but y'all use firing squads too, and you use trees. How many people has he hung? We're in 2022. Y'all still can't say lynching's a bad thing. But
you can't pass a law against it.
Yeah, and you can suppress, you can suppress a part of your population and systematically deny them freedom and progress. That's why every time a black person does something, it's so amazing because we know going into it that the game was rigged against us. So even in law enforcement, when we talk about these things, when we talk about these issues about how the people, the oppressors are being sentenced, what justice looks like for us, it always is skewed because of who we are and the history of this country. Everything, and especially in our legal system, a lot of laws are written just for the containment of black people. We go back and talk about vagrancy laws and what that meant. the fact that you couldn't be jobless. When we talk about the 13th Amendment and the loophole of the 13th Amendment is incarceration and stuff, and then so the system was designed to incarcerate Black people back into the system so they could skirt the loophole with slavery.
Correct.
And make that money, baby. Make that money.
And so, because now it's always,
privatization of prisons.
Yeah, it's always been about money, right? And so even after slavery was done away with, it's still about incarcerating and making money. There's plenty of YouTube videos that you can watch about the rise of incarceration rates, how prisons have been privatized, and who's in those prisons, the people who have been caught with the kickbacks and stuff, where they're just running people through. I mean, it's a lot. These judges that we elect are put in these positions and stuff, and they're lining these jails with more people. One of the things that we talked about in this case with the circumstances and things that didn't have to happen, one of the things that we had to talk about too is that the purpose of these stops, and you mentioned it when they already had his tags, Dante's tag, is that there's supposed to be some level of de-escalation, and everything is not supposed to be a physical thing. Most things should just be citations. Hey, I saw this. We could talk about it in court. What happens a lot? And so I'm friends with a lot of law enforcement. So this is I got a Black friend moment. But I'm friends with law enforcement officers and stuff. And so I can tell you that there are a lot of law enforcement officers who are out there diligently working very, very hard and sacrificing every day to make sure their communities stay safe. And then there's jackasses out there who think that every command they give you is lawful, and that's not the law. I have 4th Amendment rights and 14th Amendment rights that say that I don't have to just because I engage with a law officer, I don't have to do what he says. If I engage with a law officer, he says, "Hey, come here," and I go, "I'm not going anywhere. I'm going about my business. You have a good day, sir." And he decides that he needs to wrestle me to the ground because I didn't want to listen to him. Well, I didn't have to listen to him. Now, a lot of people will say that, well, you should listen to him. And that has saved your whole life. I said, no, it wouldn't have saved me my liberty. He was violating my liberties, and I will not allow anybody to violate me.
And that's what they're getting eaten up for. Jermaine, I love how you brought that in, because actually I was going to kind of like save that for like my final thought, really, to like know the difference between what is lawful, like even when dealing with an officer, what is lawful and what is bullshit. I'm sorry. What is just him?
It's okay. I already bleeped it out. You're good.
Okay, thank you. What is lawful and what is BS? So now I'm gonna have to change my final thought. But yeah.
No, it's and so hey, look, if you're watching the show, there's tons of workshops out there that will tell you your rights and stuff. What I will tell you is that in any encounter, whether it be law enforcement or anybody and stuff, being able to be level-headed, not using profanity, being courteous and stuff, within reason, listening. Like we talk about Sandra Bland, right? That all started because he ordered her to put a cigarette out, which isn't a lawful order. You can't tell me to stop smoking. I'm in my vehicle enjoying my civil liberties and stuff. If I want to smoke, I'm not hurting anybody. It's not against the law to smoke, so you can't tell me to stop smoking. But that's what escalated her getting arrested and put into jail and stuff. And a lot of people will say, Sandra Bland, all she had to do was put a cigarette out. Well, not saying all they had to do was the officer say, okay, that's your right, and I'm being a little silly right now because I want to be. A lot of arrests happen because an officer feels like he has lost control and he has asserted himself to get control back over the situation. I have dominion and main over you, and you telling me no upsets me, and therefore I'm going to put you in a situation.
And once you reject what I've told, not even asked you to do or suggested you do,
told you,
if you don't do what I tell you to do as fast as I tell you to do it,
now bracelets going on, buddy.
I have an indiscriminate amount of weight as far as how I can then react and respond to that, up into including killing you.
That's right.
For the simplest thing.
There is a question from Anthony Price.
Go ahead and read it, Vanna.
the Anthony Price. Thanks for watching the show and supporting us as always.
Thanks, Anthony.
Anthony
Go
asked,
Commanders.
Anthony asked as a random question, ain't black cops treated differently from white cops?
Can I answer that one?
Is treated differently from white anything. And black cows are treated differently from white cows. Anything black is treated differently. But to your point on this question and stuff, absolutely. And so a lot of times, and don't get me wrong, I'm friends with some cops, so I know some black cops, right? And,
right.
You
of
know,
course.
And you know at least one.
You may have even had one over at the house. Who knows?
Yeah, you never know.
Maybe.
But one of my best friends is law enforcement, right? And he's a super great guy. Would never do any of the stuff that we're talking about. Would never find him in these situations. Knows how to, and he's a big dude. If he wanted to physically impose himself on people, he could. And there's very little that most people could do about that. Especially if you look at the fact that when he goes to work, he's got his body armor and surface pistol with him. That makes it just a little bit harder for anybody to say no. But the great thing is that are they treated differently? Well, and yeah, just like a black lawyer is treated differently from a white lawyer. I read a story here recently where there was a black attorney, female attorney down south, like Alabama, Mississippi and stuff. And a black colleague told her, hey, you need to carry your card on you for your law license and stuff. And she thought that was, some peculiar advice because she was a lawyer and stuff. And the problem was that when she went to the courthouse and stuff, they did not recognize her as a lawyer. They eventually asked her for proof identification. They didn't ask anybody else, but they didn't recognize her. So if you're a black whatever, you're going to have some obstacles and stuff. And like I say, I brought up Muhammad Noor because he's a black officer. He got 12 and a half years for killing somebody. And so, yeah, are they treated differently? Yes, Anthony, they are. He didn't get a hug. Was anything about remorse?
She didn't shed a tear, did she? The judge didn't cry, did they?
Judge,
no
tears and stuff. And the thing was too that you got to understand with him and stuff. His fellow officers are like, yeah, he deserved that.
Imagine that.
And so I know who my real family is, right? And I'm not deluded by uniforms I wear, by what industries I may participate in, whether it be real estate, Jermaine Parker Realty for all your commercial needs. But it's not me thinking that I'm going to get treated any better. If anything, I think most black people were taught that you're probably going to get treated worse and worse.
Yeah,
absolutely. And bouncing off of just that last word that we all just kind of like chimed in on that worst thing, I can attest to that for a fact. By me being in the position that I was in, a lot of time whenever people got in trouble for their non-judicial punishments, which is supposed to be a universal punishment across the board, there is supposed to be no consideration of rank, race, creed, or any of those things. If you were wrong in doing something, you were just wrong. As a matter of fact, to Jermaine's point, if you happen to be black, then they would bring out some extra charges like, oh, well, you really should have known better. We hold you to a higher standard. That's when they'll start using your qualifications. They start looking at your perfect record and your perfect scores and stuff. Just like kind of like how they did Kim Potter, but kind of like double down on that. And as far as being the police officer on that, in that sense, if you remember the movie Life, and I forgot the name of his character, but he was the rock counter, the trustee. Mm-hmm. That's basically what a black police officer is overall. He's the trustee. So there we go.
Okay, there it is.
I like to say, in everything is not the same. So And what I mean by that is that I hate to make blanket statements about police officers. Again, I know police officers, and I know a lot of them who work really, really hard. I think the problem that I've always had with the police force was the accountability that they didn't have for themselves. And so,
right.
And CJ likes to bring up, and I'm a military boy myself. And so one of the things that when something happens in the military, you hear about what happened all the way through. If there's somebody, if there's a colonel in the news who gets charged with something and stuff, you hear about his punishment and stuff. Police officers, you hear we're investigating, but you never hear what the punishment is. And
absolutely.
And so the part of the problem is that there's a lack of transparency and accountability sometimes within our police forces that would allow us. There may have been something that happens from a complaint, but if the public doesn't know about it, and it's public trust, that's the reason the military does it. Is I was explained to years ago. The reason that our standards are so high, and the reason that we punish ourselves, right? Because we don't want anybody else to have to punish us. We punish ourselves, and we do a really good job of doing that. It's because we have public trust to consider. And these police officers are in the same position, I believe. They don't have access to nukes, right? But they are killing. They're up there with killing people. Any nuclear bomb has ever killed. Year to year, as they continue to have escalations of violence against civilians simply because they don't like their attitude. And they want to reassert control over a situation and their dominance and stuff. And because no one ever, and they know that's what it is. There's a campaign out there to say that we're vilifying the police, but no one ever said anything when they rough up somebody that's obviously breaking the law. No one's ever said a word about that. Unless it was extreme, right? They beat somebody with a handcuff who's already been subdued. But if they have to tackle somebody that's in the act of committing a crime, if they have to wrestle or fight somebody in order to protect the community or citizens and stuff, they never get in trouble for that. Never, not one time. And the community doesn't say a word about it. When they're not being vilified for the good things they do when they're using their training, they're being vilified for the bad things they do. And rightfully so. There has to be a level of accountability between the community and the people that we ask to protect the community.
Yeah, there you go. Hey, so thinking back to what you said earlier about how it seems like Americans try to take the moral high ground when they don't have anything to do with America. And let me preface what I'm about to say by saying, first and foremost, our thoughts and truly our prayers go out to the people in Ukraine as they're right now fighting tyranny and everything else.
Yep.
From a out of control maniac that, in my personal opinion, people will not say it, but I don't know why Delta Force ain't going in there and just taking his dumb ass out right now. It just be done with it. Anyway,
because it wouldn't be done with it. We'd all be.
Well, yeah, I know it would provoke more stuff.
We'd all be crispy. That's why.
Yeah,
that's the end. That's the short of it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, before they did it though, let me go to Guam or something. But anyway, just to visit. I'll be back.
Not far enough.
Lori, I'll be back.
Not far enough.
Yeah.
I'll be back. Anyway, but what I was really thinking when you said that, Jermaine, it's funny how people accuse Vladimir Putin of wanting to go back to the old days of the USSR and rewrite history. And I'm going, so y'all are clutching your pearls because Vladimir Putin wants to make Russia great again. And he wants to revise history.
Well, more apples to apples.
Where have we seen that at?
Let's do apple to apples on this. So with Ukraine and this, it's a whole show unto itself to talk about all the particular stuff.
It is.
But former President George Bush, the Jr., actually put out a statement where he condemned the invasion of Ukraine and stuff. And so apples to apples is that it's funny from the guy that invaded Iraq with no probable cause to now 20 years later.
Damn, that's true too.
You'd say that this invasion, I condemn that.
I condemn your illegitimate invasion, but mine
was cool.
That was based
Mine
off
is
of
different.
So, and that's why I say that in America, when we have our reasons, well, they're good reasons. When somebody else has reasons, well, your reasons aren't as good as mine. You know,
that's because it's America.
And so
that's because it's America. That's because it's America's reason.
America?
And it is, but and so that's the thing, right? Is that America would, if America really wanted to have the political currency around the world, they would fix a lot of things in their own house. How can you truly look at your neighbor and say you shouldn't be doing this when you've got broken down cars in your yard, your grass is too high, there's kids running around with no diapers on and stuff. There's just all kind of craziness going on and stuff. We talk about preventing people's rights around the world where we want to keep democracy around the world, but you look in Texas and they're writing laws where you want to call the police on families for abortions and now for trans kids and stuff, and you want to take kids away from their families and stuff. You can't sit here as a country and vilify everything within inside your borders and then look outside and go, you guys are doing it wrong.
Jermaine, it's different, man. It's different, man. It's just different.
And the fact that there's people out there who believe it's different is what the problem is.
That is the problem.
And that is the problem.
You're right.
Sir.
The fact that they can look at two things that are the same, and based on what I want it to be, I can tell you this one is different from the other.
You know why? You know why, fellas? Because it's not affecting me. That's why it's different.
Well, I mean, again, it's all about justification, right? So, so basically, what President Putin has said is that Ukraine used to be part of the Soviet Union, which isn't true. There are no parts that used to be, and so what he's done is he said that they're going to do a peacekeeping mission because there are parts of Ukraine that are independent now. He's recognized them as independent parts, and so that's giving him the leeway in his mind to move in to do peacekeeping and stuff. Actually, former President Trump said it was a genius move, and I'm not sure when American presidents started complimenting Russian presidents on their moves and stuff, but
when 45 got into office.
Actually, Trump's not wrong because it is a genius move. Because it makes as much sense as we believe that there are weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And we're going to go over there and we're going to blow everything up until we find them.
Yeah, we stood up before NATO and the UN, and we sat there and gave our case to go in there just like Putin gave his case.
And so the thing is that you say, well, Putin's stuff was a lie. Well, our stuff was a lie too. And you say, well, Putin knew it was a lie. America knew it was a lie too.
Exactly.
So really, if we look at this country, whether it be our police cases or our political cases and stuff, there's a hypocrisy about America that needs to be solved. Yes. And so when we can better address the issues inside our borders, I think that we'll be able to step out on the world stage, better positioned as a leader. Because once you've done the work on yourself, the self-care, America needs self-care, right? And needs to do work on itself.
The worst way.
And so once we can get better, then we can go out there on doing our TED Talks about how everybody else should do it too.
All right. Lori, final thoughts.
I just wanted to leave a quote that I have sitting that I always read every day. The expedient thing and the right thing are seldom the same thing. So just going back that with everything that's going on in the world and just piggybacking, thank you, Jermaine, for your words that you spoke, is that final thoughts are you need to clean up your own house. You need to take care of what you need to do before you can sit here and talk about everybody else and what they need to do. If you're not addressing what's in your house, you have no right to talk about mine.
CJ.
What's up, sir? Okay. First of all, thank you again for allowing me to be on your show. And I was in conversation with a really good friend of mine. He's still active duty, and he corrected me on something I was not aware. So I harshly misjudge civilians versus military because I happen to be have law enforcement experience in both. But one thing that I did miss, and it did get past me, when we would harp really hard on police trainings, and he brought to my attention that not all civilian police trainings have the same or the equivalent police trainings as we do in the military. In the military, we teach, preach, and do de-escalation. Not necessarily all civilian police academies do that. So, but even with that being said, guys, it's still no excuse to treat people decently and humanely. And that's my final thought.
All right. Jermaine, any final thoughts?
Again, I'm going to be tuned in at 8:30 because I'm really excited about this premiere. And ladies, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. We got it.
All right. Very well. Very well. Lori, my final thought, I need you to put a public service announcement up. Normally, I will say something that's somewhat insightful, somewhat thoughtful, and everything else like that. But you know what? Damn that this week. My final thought is going to be this. I'm getting sick and tired, past sick and tired of everywhere I go. Folks, I know it's 2022, and maybe I was just born in the wrong generation. But there used to be a time that when you used your phone, you would put it to your ear because you wanted to have a conversation, and the conversation stayed between you and the person on the phone. For some unknown reason over the years, you folks have found it necessary to use these damn speakerphones everywhere you go. Like everybody want to hear you and Pookie talking on the phone. I don't want to hear your conversations with Pookie, and I don't want to hear Pookie in the background talking to somebody else and hear all these crazy noises. We on the train, we on the bus. You don't know what earphones are. You don't know what an earbud is. Everybody need to hear you sitting there talking foul. I was at the store yesterday. Watched the woman at the checkout line at a Walgreens having a conversation with somebody, and the girl on the other end blurts out, "Get the F out of here." And everybody in the store hears it. And I'm just like, wow. You are the most ratchetest generation I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
The speakerphone was not meant for you to sit there and just walk around and let everybody hear your conversations, and you'll be the same ones talking about stay out of my business.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine that.
Oh, yes.
That's a mic drop right there.
Hallelujah.
Praise him. My public service announcement. Man, I done got so tired of this. Haley, thank you so much. I see you, darling. Enjoyed having y'all. Can't wait to see y'all in about another hour. Hopeless Romantic, y'all. They killing it. It's going to be a great series. Jermaine's got it on his phone. He's serious about that, Haley. He coming for you. I don't know what to tell you, but just, watch yourself. Anyway, I'm going to get ready because I got to do my hair before the premiere and everything, of course.
Yeah.
I got scrunches that I'm putting in. But anyway, we will see y'all again next week.
This fool said scrunches.
Yeah, I got scrunches and, get my little Betty Boop going. But anyway.
I was hanging in there. I
know. You know what? This is what we call in actors getting out of character. So anyway, I'll definitely see y'all again next week, same time. Please like, share, subscribe, and did I mention please share? Let everybody know about the show, whether it's on YouTube, Facebook, or LinkedIn. We will see you there. Also on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Until then, y'all have a great week. See you later.
This is ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma.